Namandab, 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 namandab. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our August Shotsuki monthly memorial and adult Dharma service. Before I begin, I want to just make an announcement for people who are here in person. We have 2 donation bowls out. And so the donation bowl out in the lobby there is for relief for Hawaii, for the wildfires. And then the bowl here is for your Shotsuki donations that will go directly to church. So if you want to leave, you brought your regular donation for Shotsuki, please leave it up here. But if you want to make a special donation for the Hawaii relief, you can leave it there or go online. You may have gotten the email from us. It's also on our website. So people online, if you have gotten the email, you can do it that way. You can mail checks into BCA, or you can also go on our website and find that information. So I would like to proceed by reading the names of those who've passed away in the month of August. Roy Akiyoshi, Jutaro Akiyoshi, Toki Baba, Kyo Baba, Tamotsu Baba, Tomoko Endo, Tomi Fuji, Kyubei Fukuda, Hanako Furuta, Kentaro Otsuka Gluck, Asai Goto, James Grohl, Keinosuke Hamasaki, Katsuko Harano, Yuguchi Hashimoto, Yoshitomo Hirabayashi, Haruyo Hiromoto, Masajiro Hirota, Tadashi Hirota, Mishi Horimoto, Ishii Hoshide, Shizue Inoichi, Den Inoue, Kuri Kakutani, Ichimatsu Kamano, Robert Kamano, Jeffrey Kanada, Tsuru Kada, Toyomatsu Kada, Tamaki Kanda, Sakae Katayama, Rinzo Kato, Setsuno Kawabata, Fujie Kawabe, Yutaka Kayatani, Harvey Kido, Tsune Kimura, Keijiro Kimura, Osayo Kimura, Mokichi Kisanuki, Juki Kitagaki, Inajiro Koizumi, Kayo Kuramura, Kanichi Masui, Toshikazu Matsutani, Kiyo Minamidani, Takao Misaki, Katsu Mitani, Kenichi Miyamoto, Tsuyako Mizusaki, Kazuo Mori, Asaemon Muramoto, Koyo Muramoto, Masami Muramoto, Take Muramoto, Yumi Nagata, Ichi Nakagawa, Mitsuo Nakagawa, Seijiro Nakagawa, Tomie Nakagawa, Tosaburo Nakahara, Yukie Nakahara, Akira Nakamura, Himeko Nakao, Ishii Nakao, Timothy Nakaya, Yokichi Neishi, Shimeno Nishino, Yuki Nomura, Wakai Nomura, Hajime Nomura, Sylvia Nomura, Fude Ogawa, Jack Ogawa, Kazue Ogawa, Minosuke Ogawa, Katsuo Ohashi, Yoshihiro Ohashi, Tameo Okai, Kazumi Okamoto, Fujio Okano, Kimio Okawachi, Shigekazu Okawachi, Yukie Hiramoto Onizuka, Miyuki Otake, Baby Otsuka, Moto Otsuka, Sano Otsuka, Yuriko Otsuka, Mitsue Ozaki, Itsuo Ozawa, Miyako Sakai, Masako Sakaki, Tami Sakaki, Yoichiro Sakaki, Yoshiko Sano, Hana Sasaki, Moriichi Sasaki, Gary Seiji, Kikuno Shigematsu, Lenai Shimabukuro, Baby Shinomoto, Charles St. Germain, Sujaku family, Sakuyo Sumimoto, Junichi Sumimoto, Hana Tsunada, Masui Tsunagawa, Toyo Tsunayama, Koichi Takata, Tai Tamata, Nobu Tamori, Kumetaro Tomori, Chugoro Tani, Moto Tani, Tamayo Tani, Mitsuo Taniguchi, Matsusuke Taniguchi, Ichimi Teramae, Fusajiro Utsurogi, Mabel Watanabe, Lauren Kimio Worrell, Take Yago, Shizuo Yamamoto, Mosanta Yamamoto, Sadazo Yamane, Shigeko Yamaoka, Katsutoshi Yanigitsubo, Patricia Ono Yokomizo, Aiko Yokoyama, Sachiko Yokoyama, Masaru Yoshioka, Togo Yoshioka. Okay, next we will have Sutra chanting. And so the way we've been doing it, we just all chant together. We'll be chanting Juseige, and it should be on page 23 in that small purple book. And you can chant along, or you can think about your loved ones that are being honored during the chanting. And we'll have the words on the screen for those online. Namanda, 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 namanda. Chosegan Hishimu Jodo Shigan Fumanzok Seifu Joshogak Gaomunyoko Fuidai Seshu Fusai Shobingu Seifu Joshogak Gashi Jobutsudo Myosho Chojippo Kukyomi Shomon Seifu Joshogak Ryokujin Shonen Joe Shibongyo Shigumu Jodo Isho Teninshi Jinniki Endaiko Fushomu Saido Shoujo Sankumyo Kosai Shuyakunan Kaiichi Egen Meshi Konmoan Heisoku Sho Akudo Tsudatsu Zen Shumon Kosojo Manzok Iyoro Jippo Nichigatsu Shujuki Tenko Onpugen Ishukai Hozo Koseku Dokuho Jodai Shichi Seppo Shishiku Kuyoi Saibutsu Gusoku Shutoku Hon Ganne Shitsujoma Tokui Sangai O Nyobutsu mugechi Tsudatsu mi fusho Gangaku erik Toshi saisho son Shiganya koka Daisen o kando Kokusho tenni Touchin myoke Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, Namanda. Okay, next we would like to read The Three Treasures, which is on page 3 in the small purple book. Sorry, I know you just put it away. Get it back out. The Three Treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life, now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the Buddha Dharma, now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves your supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord, in your life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Okay, thank you once again for joining us for our August Shotsuki monthly memorial service and adult Dharma service. I kind of wanted to revisit a little bit from last week. We're still kind of at the tail end of the Obon season, right? That, you know, for us, it seems like it's over because we did our Obon festival last week, Obon dance, our Obon service. But actually, all the temples do that at different times, right? And so I know that some temples are doing it this weekend. In Japan, some areas of Japan, I understand, observe Obon in July, but most of the time it's in August. That's partly due to the difference between lunar and solar calendars and the change over the years and centuries and that kind of thing. But Obon isn't like, bad example, but Christmas on December 25th. Or even like Thanksgiving, the fourth Thursday of the month, right? Right, that there's a set date for a lot of our holidays. But Obon, it kind of floats around a little bit more. And so to me, I feel like we're kind of still in this kind of Obon time, right? We can still have this Obon feeling. And a lot of Obon, I think, is about remembering. And so if you joined us last week for the Obon service, we had a wonderful Dharma talk by our guest speaker, Reverend Dr. David Matsumoto. And he showed a video of anime, right? And Your Name, I think it was called. And we just had this, wonderful Dharma message. And so part of me, I'm kind of thinking about that. So no spoilers, unlike Matsumoto Sensei, no spoilers. Most people hadn't seen the movie. What I think we want to do is actually have a viewing party of Your Name, maybe in October. So we'll have, on like a Saturday, we can gather in the hall and watch the anime and then have some discussion afterwards. But I'm still kind of reeling from the talk because it was really, I know a lot of people really liked it. It was really a wonderful message. And so I want to talk a little bit about what came to my mind of this theme of remembrance. So what I'd like to talk a little too, I've been talking about AKA for a long time, right? Not only also known as, but also awareness, kindness, and appreciation, right? So we can think about our Buddhism as awareness, kindness, and appreciation. So I wanted to talk about awareness a little bit. The reason I want to talk about that is that its awareness could also be understood as mindfulness, right? And we hear about mindfulness a lot these days, just in the media, right? It's become really popular maybe in the past 5 years or so, right? This idea of mindfulness. And it doesn't have to be Buddhist, right? You can have just secular mindfulness, I guess, right? You can have mindfulness, health-based mindfulness. You can have capitalistic, get as much out of your workers as possible mindfulness. There's all kinds of mindfulness out there, right? So you got to be careful. I think a lot of times people think this is great. Buddhism is mainstream now. But mindfulness in itself, to me, is kind of value neutral. And the way it's used, I think we need to be really careful about. Mindful of what? Why? Right? What's the point of this mindfulness? Right? Is it just to try and live healthier, like to have better physical health? Is it a way to manipulate people? You wouldn't think so, but people are capable of anything, right? And there's people out there, I think, using mindfulness to manipulate people and exploit people. Right? But there's also mindfulness as a Buddhist mindfulness. But even that, there's not just one kind. Right? And some of the kinds of Buddhist mindfulness I can think of is a kind of mindfulness meditation, where you're meditating, but you're mindful of your breath. Right? You're mindful of the breath in, and then the breath out, and then the breath in, right? And so you meditate for like 5 minutes, concentrating on your breath, on your breathing. There's also mindfulness just of my thoughts, trying to be aware of my thoughts. And there's also, ultimately, mindfulness of the Buddha. Right? To me, that's the most important mindfulness for us. And it's the word, Nembutsu. Nembutsu is mindfulness of Buddha, literally. Right? The Nen is for mindfulness, Butsu is Buddha. Right? So Nembutsu, our Nembutsu is Namo Amida Butsu, saying Namo Amida Butsu. But I think it includes this kind of thinking of Buddha, being mindful of Buddha. So doing it here, when I say it first and you do it back, that's part of our tradition, but if that's all you're doing, it's not enough, right? What's the point? Just come to church and do what the sensei says and then go home and poof, gone, right? Mindfulness of the Buddha should be happening in our daily life, right? Anytime. So that when you're stressed out or angry or just kind of spacing out or whatever, if we can think of Buddha, right, that kind of gets us back on track. Right? And one way we can do that is Namo Amida Butsu, say the name, right? Think of Buddha. Now there's another aspect, though, of this thinking of Buddha. Oh, actually, before I do that, here's a question. Quiz time. Did you notice anything missing on your way up to the Hondo? Anybody notice? This doesn't count for the people online, but people who came in. Did you notice? Anybody? It's not in here. The hallway statue isn't there. Who noticed? We just walked in, right? Oh, here I am at temple, right? And we just come in and bow and come up and maybe offer incense. I didn't notice. Don't feel bad if you didn't notice. I didn't either. You did not notice, huh? Me either.
I thought the pigeon was gone.
Yeah, the pigeon was gone, but that's been a while. We had a pigeon nesting right by the stairs, but she disappeared before Obon. Yeah, but the statue's gone. It's not gone. It's just in the other room because they're going to clean the carpets. Okay, but awareness, mindfulness. We walk in and completely don't realize that something's totally not there. Right? So this is kind of Shinshu mindfulness, realizing I didn't notice that. That totally escaped me. Right? So part of Shinshu awareness and mindfulness, I think, is realizing a lot of times I'm not mindful. Realizing a lot of the time I don't bring Buddha to mind. Realizing I go through my daily life not saying Nembutsu. Right? I'm caught up in all kinds of other stuff. The problem is I can barely keep up with all that other stuff. I came today, set up my computer, get all ready, right? We get online, we're on Zoom. Hi everybody on Zoom, or actually YouTube, but we're doing it via Zoom, and I come up here, put on my computer. I have a little, the PA is not only going to the speakers, but it's going in this little box that then plugs into my computer so I can send my voice out to the internet. And I forgot my adapter again. I didn't have it last week, and I had to borrow one from Matsumoto sensei. And I should have remembered, missing adapter, get that for next week. Right? I even looked at my bag where I know the adapter is at home and didn't think, I need to bring that. I just left it there. I saw the bag but didn't remember, missing adapter. I was freaking out 15 minutes before service because I can't get home and back in 15 minutes. It will take me half an hour, no matter how fast I drive. Right? Fortunately, I have an adapter in my office that I had forgotten about. So this remembering is not easy, huh? Whether it's minuscule stuff like this, but important, right? All this important stuff, but it's just one little cable, right? One little adapter, and maybe the linchpin of the whole system, and yet I can't remember to bring it. Right? I remember that I forgot last time, and now I can remember that I forgot today too, right? But 20 minutes from now or later this afternoon, if you ask me what happened today in service, I'll be like, right, to try and remember that. So I hope I remember. I need to put like a sticky on my computer or something. So this issue of remembering, thinking on, being aware, right, is, I think, a big part of Buddhism. And for us, as Jodo Shinshu, again, part of it, it's not so much, I'm going to be a super memory computer myself, and I'm going to remember everything, and I'm going to be a perfect memory of everything. Right? Some kinds of Buddhism, I think, come across like that. Our kind of Buddhism is, oh boy, I forgot my adapter again. What else did I forget? Am I thinking about my loved ones? Am I thinking about my relationships? Am I thinking about how much I receive all the time? Right? Am I thinking about that, aware of it, and then also appreciating it? Right? That appreciation, right, that I talk about too, gratitude. If I'm not remembering, then am I really being grateful? The great thing is, though, Amida Buddha accepts me as I am, even forgetting all the time, even forgetting even to say Nembutsu, right? Even forgetting all this stuff. Amida Buddha still accepts me as I am. So that, maybe, I don't know if it's getting older, just having a lot of stuff going on, right? There's all kinds of possibilities of not remembering this stuff. But I can still try, right? I can still put in the effort to try and remember, to try to think, to bring this stuff. Right? But either way, Amida Buddha still accepts me as I am. Maybe then, sometimes that remembrance comes up of itself, right? Realizing that appreciation, realizing how much happens for me, right? So that Nembutsu just comes out, this expression of gratitude. So Matsumoto Sensei talked too about remembrance, right? And remembering others. But he said, maybe it's not about me remembering, maybe I'm being remembered. And that was where I was kind of confused. If you've heard the talk, if you haven't heard the talk, it's online, so you can go back and listen to it. Or maybe you want to, you could listen to it, skip over the movie part, and then watch the movie with us in October, right? And then think about it some more, right? But what an interesting idea. It's not my remembering, I'm being remembered. And so I wonder, part of that is very Shinshu. Part of it is like our Buddhism. Because what Shinran does, he takes what Buddhists normally do and how they normally think, and he turns it around. And instead of, I want to be a Buddha, I want to go to the Pure Land, what do I need to do? Okay, I need to do this, this, and this, and I'm going to do it with pure intention, and I'm going to do so hard, and I'm going to leave my family and go up on a mountain and go on a retreat, and I'm going to do all this stuff. That's one kind of Buddhism. We don't go to the Pure Land, though, by our own effort. We go to the Pure Land because of Amida Buddha's effort. Right? We are taken to the Pure Land. Our birth in the Pure Land is made from Buddha's side, not from my side. And so that kind of turning around, he does it so many ways. There's more examples, but I'm not going to go into it because I can't remember them right now. But so this idea, right, that how we normally think gets kind of turned on its head in Shinshu. Now, Obon, again, this didn't come up in our Obon service, but I talked about it in Stockton. One understanding of the meaning of Obon is being held upside down, being turned upside down. And so how that's interpreted is that our normal way of life, the normal way we look at things, is upside down. We think it's right? Supposed to make as much money as I can, supposed to whatever, take what I can get, don't worry about anyone else, only worry about your own happiness, whatever, right? And it could be all kinds of stuff. That's just one example, right? That kind of thinking, maybe it's upside down. Right? And that the Buddha, the truth, the Buddha awakened to, the Dharma, isn't upside down. That's the way things really are, sono mama, as they are, true reality. Not the way I see it, right? I see things upside down. And so how do I live my life then? How do I live an upside up life? How do I live a life of remembrance? Is part of the path of Shinshu, right? Part of our Buddha path. And it includes thinking of the Buddha, it includes thinking of myself, trying to be more aware of myself, and it includes saying the Nembutsu. But what I like about it too is our Shotsuki services. And maybe this is part of where this comes in too. Right? That the Shotsuki service, the names I read out today, right? Reading the name, saying that name out loud, right? Every year in this month when they passed away, so that we can hear that name if it's your relative, right? And think about them. Bring them to mind. Even getting the card, maybe, right? Shotsuki is coming up, and it's your relative here is going to be honored, right? That brings it to mind too, right? So you can think, oh yeah, Shotsuki, right? August. Okay, gotta go. What date is that again? Okay, we're free. Let's go. So this bringing to mind, what a special opportunity. If you don't have them on the list, it's hard, personally. Right? Both my parents passed. One passed in July and one passed in December, and it's rare that I remember because I don't have them on the list. Right? It's rare for me to remember those dates without help. Right? So that's part of Shotsuki, I think, is to help us remember them. Right? Help us think about them. But kind of like Buddha, right? How it's not me that gets to the Pure Land, that gets me there. It's Buddha that gets me there. So as much as it's me thinking on Buddha, Buddha's thinking about me, right? Buddha's thinking about me, caring about me. Similarly, thinking about the people whose names are on this list, the Shotsuki list for this month, for example. Right? And so we think, okay, yeah, got to think about them. But part of it too is they're thinking about us. This is part of the Shinshu understanding that I have, that I've gotten from other ministers, right? That the people whose names are on the list, yes, they're not here like we knew them before. Right? They're not in their physical form, walking around, talking to us. We can't ask them questions. Right? That's part of the difficulty of acknowledging this. But another part of it is that they're still with us, but in a different way. And so if we think about it in this Buddhist sense, they've actually become Buddhas. So they're Buddhas thinking about us too. We're in their minds. Rather, it's as much as it's about me remembering, it's also to realize, wow, I'm being remembered. I'm being thought of in this embrace. Now, I'm speaking about it very literally, right? Thinking about them as Buddhas, thinking about them sitting there thinking about us, right? And so I don't want to, that's only one way to think about it, right? Maybe actually they're kind of beyond form is another way, but I like this idea. I think it's comforting, and I think, we find it all over the place. This idea that when we die, we go to some place, right? And beyond our world of suffering, no longer suffering, right? And that we're able to escape this world of samsara. And so in our tradition, it's the Pure Land, the Buddha's land, right? And so that's one aspect of it, right? To think about them peacefully together with other loved ones who've passed. But what I like about Shinshu, it doesn't end there. They're not just hanging out in the Pure Land as like bodhisattvas. They're Buddhas. Right? So they talk about, as soon as they get there, they come right back in this new way, thinking about us, caring about us. And so part of it becomes maybe my responsibility to find that, right? Or a possibility for me to find that in my life, right? To realize, wow, all this energy, all this positive energy coming to me. I'm being thought of. So these are just some thoughts. I don't know if that's what Matsumoto Sensei is talking about. I haven't watched the movie yet. Kimi no Namae, Kimi no Na, wa might be the name of it. The Your Name, right, is the film. So if you want to try and watch it, you can. It's available on streaming services and that kind of thing. But again, we want to try to watch it in October, I think is the plan. Maybe second week of October. We'll put that in the October Bushin. So I want to thank you very much. This really special opportunity, right? Shotsuki Memorial Service is a special opportunity to think of our loved ones, to come to temple, right? Offer incense, be with our family, and take this special time. And I also really like reading the names. I noticed that sometimes I do the Japanese R and sometimes I do the English R. And there's no set thing on that. But either one is fine with me. And I actually really like reading the names. And for many of you, you're here and you hear it. Some people, that's a lot of names. So obviously not everyone has family who's here today. And yet the name is still going out, right? The name is still being said. And so, some people maybe on the list don't have any living relatives left, and yet they're remembered by us, right? So I think this Shotsuki service is really, really special and wonderful. So why don't we conclude the Dharma message with Kansho as we recite the Nembutsu, bringing Buddha to mind. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Okay, and now I think I'm going to hand it over to Robert Noguchi for announcements, and give me a second to get it up and running. I figured it out last week and I remembered. This is external headphones. Okay, Robert, I'm going to switch it over to you.
Okay, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. And for those of you on the YouTube broadcast, you should be able to see my screen. It's basically the BCO website. But thank you very much, Sensei, and welcome to the Buddhist Church of Oakland. Thank you for attending today's Shotsuki and Dharma Family Adult Service. I'd like to thank Reverend Bridge for his Dharma talk and officiating today's service, Reverend Michael Endo for assisting in today's service, and the host number 5 group, chaired by Jared Miyamoto Mills, for providing hospitality for those attending service at the church today, and the Zoom crew, taking care of the Zoom and the YouTube presentation today online. Quite a few announcements as we come into the end to the end of summer and beginning the fall next month. But first, the announcement that Sensei mentioned a little earlier is about the support and relief for Lahaina victims of Lahaina and the damages and the fire and all that happened this past week. There's a letter from our Bishop, Reverend Marvin Harada, and the Hopohonganji Mission of Hawaii that's on our website. You see this picture and then the letter below that was sent out by the Office of the Bishop. So there's information on there about supporting the relief for Lahaina. Okay, please take a look at that. Next month after Labor Day, our Dharma School will get started. It's 2023-2024 school year. That'll be on Sunday, September 10th at 10 a.m. with service and then classes after that. So please bring your child, grandchild, or if you have friends or relatives that have children, please bring them to BCO Dharma School. Also for the youth, we have our youth club basketball program. It's actually starting up soon, so accepting signups now for the next several weeks. So please go ahead and take a look at that and sign up. Our Japanese school, Nihongo Gakuen Japanese language school, will be starting up after Labor Day. So the first day of classes for that will be on Saturday, September 9th. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and proceed to the Japanese language school page. Going to the BCA, the Buddhist Churches of America.org website. There's some events. Let's see if you scroll down here. 3 events happening very soon. You can go ahead and take a look at that. That's on the BCA website. If you have any questions, there's ways to sign up and things like that right there on the BCA web. Okay, going back to I guess one more thing I wanted to mention is our Fall Higan service will be on Sunday, September 17th at 10 a.m. Celebrating the fall equinox. And then we'll also have a Dharma chat afterwards, after service, talking about various topics in Buddhism with Reverend Bridge. So please come and join us in person for that. That would be great if everyone come in person. So that'll happen right after service on Sunday, September 17th. Going back to the BCO website, this is our donation page. We accept and appreciate gifts of any amount. You can actually slide down here and go to Shotsuki donation for today's memorial service and donate through PayPal. It's very simple, it's very quick, and so we really appreciate and accept any donations given to the Buddhist Church of Oakland. So thank you so much. Once again, welcome to the Buddhist Church of Oakland. Thank you so much for attending, and I'll send this back to Sensei.
Okay. Thank you very much once again for joining us for our August Shotsuki Monthly Memorial and Adult Dharma Service, and this will conclude our service. Remember, the bowl up here is for donations to church, and then donations to Hawaii Relief will be back in the lobby area. So why don't we conclude with Kansho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo.